Did you hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here to get to the bottom of it, though, it sounds like.
We pretty much know what's going on, but, all we want to do is just talk about the man, the musician.
What message do you have to Prince fans?
Just keep saying prayers for everyone, for the family. Yeah.
There was no sign of this. This is just...
Everyone gets sick once in a while. We don't know. We're going to find out.
Sheila E. was the last person Prince trusted. Now rumors say she's finally exposing the danger he warned about and why Diddy needed him silenced.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Now, you heard Sheila E.'s clip, I can't talk about it. Coming from the drummer who was practically family, those words hit harder than a cymbal crash. Was it grief or a gag order? If friends are this tight-lipped, ask yourself, who's holding the strings? The week Prince died, insiders whispered he was about to strike a direct-to-fan streaming deal that would have cut his former labels out entirely. The strange thing is that the hotel drives are nowhere to be found. Experts say there's always at least a hallway feed, unless those drives were removed, wiped, or permanently repossessed. Who did it? County cops? Federal agents? Private security? The list of potential cleanup crews is as long as Prince's guitar solos. But the most concerning part is that why a lifelong confidant refuses to talk. Is it because of the legal counsel, fear, loyalty, or did she receive the kind of warning a non-disclosure agreement can't capture? She hinted in an interview months later, eyes watery but resolute. Was that the confession behind the confession? You won't believe the new updates that we got now. Sheila opens up in an interview. She takes a breath and finally says, Prince warned me about the darkness in this business. No theatrics, just a quiet confession that lands like a thunderclap. For nearly a decade, the legendary percussionist kept her grief locked up. Today, she's breaking that silence, claiming Prince spent his final months shielding fans from forces that feed on artists. According to Sheila, those forces aren't abstract. They have names, power, and deep pockets. One name at the center of her claims, Sean Diddy Combs. Sheila hints that the same industry machinery Prince fought against rights grabs, hush contracts, and backroom deals has corridors running straight to Diddy's empire. Sheila says Prince was piecing together evidence of exploitation, manipulation, even ritualistic practices designed to keep stars obedient and catalogs profitable. If Sheila E.'s story is true, Prince's elevator wasn't the end. It was an abrupt intermission. Whether paperwork or a press conference, something big was coming, and someone made sure it never arrived. Then come the parties with no boundaries. Celeb gatherings are nothing new. Jamie Foxx, Drake, and even Bieber throw legendary bashes. But insiders say Diddy's events come with layers of secrecy, no phones, NDAs at the gate, and that strict no security clause. Same glitz, different gut feeling. Let's switch back a bit to Sheila and Prince's relationship. In 1997, in the club Bay Area, Sheila Escovedo locks eyes with a rising Minneapolis guitarist named Prince. One jam session later, a creative fuse is lit that will burn for decades. By 1984, Sheila signs with Warner Brothers, and Prince hands her The Glamorous Life. The song explodes, and she opens the entire Purple Rain tour. Mid-concert, Prince spins towards Sheila, mouths, "Will you marry me?"
You were in a relationship with Prince. He even proposed to you. How did he do it?
It was during the Sign of the Times tour, and there are many songs that were like really emotional to me when we played, and Purple Rain was one of them. So playing that song and playing drums, I just love playing that song. And next thing I know, he's taking his solo, and as I open my eyes, he was turning at the same time that I opened my eyes, and he's taking his solo, and he turns to me, and he said, "Will you marry me?"
Gossip columns swear they were engaged, but no papers were ever filed. Only a bond too personal for PR. If Prince feared retaliation for exposing the industry's dark side, Sheila was the single person he believed could guard the evidence and survive the fallout. At just 18, Prince inks a deal with Warner Brothers by the mid-80s, MTV drops 1999 and Purple Rain, and that hunch turns into platinum. Yet the fine print still lets Warner pocket the lion's share of every riff. Fed up, Prince does the unthinkable, renames himself to an unpronounceable glyph and paints slave on his face. Prince tells anyone who'll listen that no chart position is worth losing your soul. He'd rather scrap the stadiums than sign away another master track.
On December 31st, 1999, my publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
I had searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it.
Fast forward to the 90s and 2000s, critics start clocking Sean Diddy Combs for contracts that mirror Warner's grip, chart-topping hits, but catalogs that stay locked in corporate vaults. Bad Boy Records wasn't just Diddy's playground. Warner Brothers held a 50% stake, covering distribution and marketing. Translation? The very corporate engine Prince battled powered Diddy's rise, placing his roster under the same profit-first hierarchy.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Aubrey O'Day also revealed her anxiety over getting her publishing rights back.
So basically, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So streaming. For the past couple years, it's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs Music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
13 tracks cut, album nearly mixed, then a severe mental health collapse. Sources say Diddy's camp simply dropped him. No rehab, no backup plan. One more voice was silenced when it couldn't keep pace with the release calendar. Carl's brother dies. 1 week later, Diddy calls with a blunt question. When are you back in the studio? No condolence tour, just a calendar reminder. Carl exits soon after, citing a label colder than platinum plaques. Bodyguard Gene Deal swears Biggie was ready to leave Bad Boy. Days later, he's murdered in LA. While the world mourns, Diddy drives Life After Death to #1. Marketing blitz on full throttle, grief left backstage. No lawsuit, no memoir, no podcast tell-all. One signed clause and decades of studio stories vanish. The catalog returns to the artist, but the narrative stays locked in Diddy's vault. Remember Prince's mantra, control the art, control the artist? This move echoes his fears of an industry that swaps freedom for hush money. Different era, same playbook of coercion and manipulation. Artists reclaim royalties if they muzzle themselves. Diddy sheds potential lawsuits and rewrites his legacy as a benevolent mogul. Power preserved, dissent deleted. At a last-minute Paisley Park party, he waves to the crowd and warns, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." Cryptic words that now feel like breadcrumb clues. Was Prince signaling danger or simply teasing new music? The timing, hours before his fatal flight scare, points to something heavier. After Prince's sudden death, authorities ruled an accidental fentanyl overdose from counterfeit Vicodin. Case closed, paperwork stamped. But counterfeit pills raise a sharper question. Who slipped them into his stash, and why? Prince's closest confidant insists she never saw addiction. No erratic behavior, no nightly pill runs. Her disbelief opens the door to darker talk, poisoning, sabotage, an artist silenced before an exposé could drop.
There are reports that say that the landing last week was a treatment for some sort of drug overdose, whether prescription or illicit. Did you ever have any signs of drug use? Did you ever see any signs of drug use with him lately that would end up in something like this?
No, not at all.
Close up on Sheila E., voice barely above a whisper. Prince told me there are puppeteers in this business, Diddy included. Fast forward to today. Lawsuits, investigations, and ex-employees lining up with receipts against Diddy. With the spotlight finally shifting, Sheila E. is edging into daylight, hinting that Prince's warnings were more than paranoia. In the end, we are left with 3 burning questions. Was Prince silenced? The timing of his warnings, the mystery pills, the deleted IG post, too neat, or tragic chance? Is Diddy the linchpin? Half of Bad Boy is owned by Warner, artists muzzled by NDAs. Does the power run deeper than music charts? Is Sheila E. ready to talk? Her guarded hints now echo louder as lawsuits pile up around Diddy. Is the veil finally lifting? Think the puzzle pieces fit? Say why in the comments. Believe they don't? Drop your counter evidence. Either way, smash subscribe and ring that bell, because the next clue could prove everything or blow the whole theory apart.